Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now I know it has been like a while since I last done like a vinyl update video, so I thought that I would come on today and like show you some of like the music related items what I received for Christmas this year, and then also some of like the various vinyls what I have been purchasing over the last month or so. So we'll just get started with the music related items what I got for Christmas, and like the main thing was this here, which is the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers complete studio albums box set. Now I have done like a separate video on this, so like if you want to see like a bit more detail like on this box set, I will leave a link to that video in the description. But aside from that, like I got two music related books. The first one here is this one. It's called Vinyl Adventures from Istanbul to San Francisco by Tim Burgess. So what this is just like a book like about like collecting vinyls and that, sort of like it's like each chapter like it's like a recommendation from like someone like he knows, like he was like this Tim Burgess was like the lead singer of like the band The Charlatans. So like he's sort of like there's different like recommendations. I'm sure like I was just skimming through this, like I've not like properly read this one yet because I've been reading like the other book what I showed here, but like he gets like sort of like a recommendation from someone and then like he talks a bit about it in like each chapter and that. So it's a pretty cool book. Like I haven't like properly read it yet, but I'll look forward to giving this like a read. Yeah, it should be like a pretty good read this. But what I have been reading though is this, which is Johnny Marr's autobiography, Set the Boy Free, and I was lucky enough to get a signed copy from like my grandparents. So that's it there, that's the signed copy there. Fantastic book this, especially like the early days. It's really sort of vivid, like you can really like imagine like in like your head like what he's talking about and that, and like it just sort of goes through like just sort of like his biography and that, various pictures and like whatnot in it as well, like as is with like most of like these like biographies and that. So yeah, fantastic read. I would definitely recommend this to all like Smiths fans and like Johnny Marr fans and that. So yeah, brilliant book here. But now a couple of vinyl albums what I received as gifts from people here in the VC. The first one is from Vinyl Collector James, my very good friend. He bought me this, which is Oasis's first album, Definitely Maybe. Fantastic album here, like it has to be said. Although I didn't think this was quite as good as like What's the Story, Morning Glory, this is still a cracking debut album. Got classics on it like Rock and Roll Star, Shake and Make, Live Forever, Supersonic, and Cigarettes and Alcohol being like the notable tracks. That's it. That's the gatefold there. And then the vinyls, this also comes with like a download code, and just like What's the Story, Morning Glory, the download code has like loads of like B-sides and like live tracks, demos, so much content with this. It's fantastic. But like the vinyl, like just like a double vinyl, and these sound fantastic remasters these. So yeah, thank you James for getting me Definitely Maybe. And now the next two are from my very good friend Rockboy680. He sent me not one but two records, both by like the Rolling Stones. First one here is Beggar's Banquet, which is an album I haven't had like a chance to listen to yet, but I definitely will after this video. I will be sure to play this all the way through. But yeah, this is considered like one of like the Stones classic albums. Slightly different cover to like the original album. Like this was like the like original like intended cover, but like the record company like weren't having it and they replaced it. There's the gatefold there, looks like that. And then I believe this was just in like a plain sleeve, and the label, I think it's a custom label, looks like that. So yeah, really nice like heavyweight vinyl with these, and like these repressings sound like absolutely great. Like I've got like Let It Bleed from the same like reissuing campaign, and like that sounds fantastic. So like I look forward to playing this one. The other one what he sent, what I have played, is this one, which is Some Girls. This was a slightly later album, 1978 I think this one came out, and like I really enjoyed this actually. Like I was like surprised, like I really enjoyed this one. I can't quite remember what like standout tracks. I think like Miss You was one of the singles, as was Shattered, but my favourite one though was Beast of Burden, which is a brilliant song, love that one a lot. There's the back of it there, and this is a nice inner sleeve here. I believe the original copies of this were sort of cut out and that, so that like the inner sleeve, like you can change like the cover about and that. Unfortunately with this reissue they haven't tried to like replicate that, which is a little bit like disappointed. But yeah, there's the inner sleeve there. And the record itself looks like that. So brilliant album, and like once again like a big thanks to like Rockboy680 for like sending this up to me, and like I will leave links to both his channel and like Vinyl Collector James in like the description to this video. But now onto the stuff that I have purchased over like the last month or so. Like I've got a couple of CDs, a couple of 7-inch singles, and then we will get onto the 12-inch vinyl. So we'll just start off with the CDs here, just down here. First one here was one where like I was talking like to Vinyl Collector James, and we done like a bit of like a swap. Like I recommended like the Small Faces to him, so he bought like himself like a Small Faces CD, and like he recommended this guy Scott Walker. So I like hence bought this CD, just like a greatest hits collection of like his solo work. And like yeah, like I was listening to this on like the train like coming back from Manchester, and I really liked it. Really unique music. Thought it was a bit of a mix. It to me sounded like a mix between sort of like Frank Sinatra and like David Bowie. Like it was a really unique stuff. You sort of got like very sort of quite like classical strings and that like going on, and like a very like prominent voice, but sort of slightly like quirky songs and like quirky lyrics and that. Get a little book for this as well, which is really nice. So yeah, thanks to James for like turning me on to Scott Walker. Really good stuff here, like actually sort of like late 60s, early 70s stuff, like I believe. Next one I bought in Manchester, following on from like me like receiving like the Tim Burgess book. I thought that I would check out some office music with this Charlatan CD. It's called Melting Pot, and this is just like a greatest hits CD. Again, I haven't had like a chance to listen to this one, although like I know and love the first song, the only one I know, which is the only one I know actually. But yeah, I will hopefully listen to this sometime soon, in like the car, maybe like going to work and like whatnot. This has like a little book, although I don't think it was anything much. Just trying to get out. Yeah, nothing much. It's basically just 2 pages stapled together and pretty plain CD design. But it's the music what matters, and like I'm sure the music on this is like absolutely fantastic. So that's the Charlatans and Melting Pot. Next one here, like I got like a wee while ago, it is the CD of Johnny Marr's album The Messenger. So I have got this like on vinyl, but recently like I have just fallen in love with this album. It is so good, like it is like so good. Like I probably like prefer this one to Playland. Like that was like the first like Johnny Marr like solo album like what I got. Then I got this one, and like I would say this one like is like better. Slightly more sort of like different sounds to it. Playland like maybe like rocks like a little bit more, but there's more sort of textures, more different guitar tones and that, which I like on this album. Some great songs such as Upstarts, Lockdown, The Messenger, New Time Velocity, and I really love the closing song, World Stars Attack. So yeah, I'll hopefully try and like review this album sometime soon, because Johnny Marr's solo stuff, like he's only done like the 2 solo albums so far, but it doesn't get anywhere near enough like appreciation. So yeah, like fantastic album here, Johnny Marr and The Messenger. So now on to the 7-inch singles. Now like I bought like all of these ones in like an eBay job lot back at like the start of like December. So like I was sort of like debating like, do like I really need these, or like these are really like essential, but no one was bidding on them, so like I got like an absolute bargain on like these singles. I believe there's 6 7-inch singles here, so I will just go over them all by the style cancel. The first one here is their debut single Speak Like a Child, back to Party Chambers, a song that you can't get on like any off like the studio albums. I think it is on like one though called Introducing the Style Council, but that was never released in like the UK. Fantastic song there. The next one is the follow-up single to that, which is Money Go Round, parts 1 and 2. So I didn't really need this one because last month like I got like the 12-inch single for it, but it is nice to get like the 7-inch, slightly different artwork. This one comes with like a little insert as well, which is quite nice, and then the record itself just looks like that. Basically, like you've got like Money Go Round part 1 on like the A side, and then part 2 on like the B side. So no like exclusive tracks for this one, but it is still a nice single to have. This one was one of the ones that I was really excited about, like with like this job lot. Like they go on Continental Honours with the At Paris EP. This contains the songs Long Hot Summer, The Paris Match, I think like an alternate version of like Party Chambers, and a song called La Depart. So yeah, this is a fantastic little EP here. Long Hot Summer, one of their absolute classics, and like The Paris Match, like this version is like the Paul Weller vocal, like as opposed to like the Tracy Thorn version what you get on like the Cafe Blue album. What I don't think like is like quite as good as this original version. So yeah, fantastic little EP here. Next one, like again, like I didn't really need because I have got the 12-inch strip, but it's my ever-changing moods here. All these are in fantastic condition. Little tear up there, but nothing much really. This has my ever-changing moods on it, and it is backed with a song called Mixed Company. So yeah, I believe just like a Hammond organ instrumental piece from Mick Talbot there. So fantastic single there. Love like the cover to this one. Probably like I do like prefer like the 7-inch single cover of this one to like the 12-inch single. This next one here, like I'm not too sure about like why like it was like released like or anything, but it is this here which you get on this. You get Long Hot Summer and You're the Best Thing. So like I'm not too sure why this one came out, like what it was like promoting or like anything. It's just got that on like the back, but it is still nice to have though. And then the final one, another one that I was like really excited about, is Shout to the Top here. This has the Ghost of Dacuts on like the back there. Very haunting song there on like the B-side. But yeah, Shout to the Top, brilliant song. And that's just what the single looks like there. So very happy with all of these, with like all of these style cancelled 7-inch singles, and yeah, over the moon with these. But now we are on to the 12-inch vinyl now. Two 12-inch singles to start off with. The first one here is a Paul McCartney single for I think it's Hope of Deliverance. Like it's like remixes of like Hope of Deliverance. Yeah, nothing much with this one, like it has to be said. But this was very cheap. I think I paid about £2 for this, or like if that. So yeah, just plain sleeve, plain single, and that's bog standard 12-inch single. Like this is like quite common like as well. Like it's not like too rare. Like I see this one like quite a bit, and like I just thought that this time like I would be as well picking it up. Next one I was pretty excited about. It is an ELO, this 12-inch single to So Serious, one of like the songs for Balance of Power. Now with ELO, like it really isn't worth getting like the early singles, sort of like the singles from like when they were like in like their prime, stuff like Mr. Blue Sky, like Turks like that, because they basically just like recycled the B-sides. That's one of the reasons why like I think that like, they didn't have like a #1 record, was because like the hardcore fans, like they weren't buying like the singles, they were just getting like the same old songs. On like the flip side, that practice changed for ELO though in like the 80s, starting with like the Time album. They started to put like unique B-sides on, and that continued right up to the end with this one here, So Serious. This has a song called Matter of Fact on like the B-side, which I didn't know. I don't believe like it was like a bonus track on like the Balance of Power CD. But it is a good song actually. Really liked Matter of Fact, and like pretty cool artwork with this one as well. So that's it, they're So Serious, backed with two versions of Matter of Fact. You get like an alternate lyric one as well, although like I don't think that like the music like it is like any different with that one. So now on to the 12-inch albums now, and the first three I bought from a shop in Stirling called Europa Music. First one here is by Billy Joel. It is the album 52nd Street. Now I haven't listened to this one yet, and like this was very cheap like as well, but I think you've got a couple of like big hits on this album, such as Big Shot, Honesty, and My Life. I think like were like the hit singles from this album. So yeah, haven't listened to this one yet, but like I hopefully will though. That's just the inner sleeve there. That's the back of it there, like, with the band. Quite like Billy Joel. I mean, like a stuff like it is like pretty cheap, easy to get, and like I like most Office hit singles and that. So yeah, this is 52nd Street. Next one I'm going to show, I believe, is like a little bit rarer. It is this one here. It is by Tears for Fears. It is called Tears Roll Down, Greatest Hits 1982 to 1992. So your vinyl collector James says that this one is like a little bit more difficult to get, but I think I paid about £6 for this. Basically just has all of like their greatest hits, starting with like Sowing the Seeds of Love, going through to like Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Mad World, Pale Shelter. So you get some brilliant songs on this album. The inner sleeve looks like this, just lyrics, and then a sort of fancy collage on like the other side, and then the label is on the Fontana label there. So yeah, great to get like a compilation on like Tears for Fears. I'm still needing their album Songs from the Big Chair. Then I will have all of like their main like discography. Like I know that like they continued after this album came out. Like Roland like continued like the band like by himself, but like I don't think that like that material was as like successful as like the previous stuff like from like the 80s. But like I think that like they have like reunited now and like the touring and like whatnot and that. But yeah, this is a great album to get. Tears for Fears Greatest Hits. The next one was quite an interesting one as well. It is this one here. It is Rolling Stones and Out of Our Heads. So I thought that I would give this album a try. It was only a tenner and it looked to be in decent enough shape. And this is quite an interesting one. Like this is a French copy of it, so it isn't like a like UK one. Like it's quite thin and that. There's the back of it there though. There's a track listing, and I really enjoyed this album. I mean, you've got like a couple of like covers on here, stuff like Mercy Mercy, Hitchhike, and like a couple of like other covers and that. But you also get classics like The Last Time, brilliant song, and like Satisfaction is also on this album. So yeah, I thought I would give it a go, and it is a really good album. We are on the Decca label, and this is a really heavy vinyl, considering that this, like I think, is like an original French copy from like 1965. So yeah, it's pretty heavy, and yeah, a really good album actually, Out of Our Heads by the Stones. The next album is this one here, which is Elvis Costello and the Attractions Armed Forces. Now, like, you might be thinking, Ross, you've already got a copy of this album, and yeah, I have. But like, I saw this for I think it was £5, and like, I looked to check to see if like it was like the fold-out copy and that, because I've just got like a standard one, which is just like a normal like sleeve of that. Whereas like I later found out like after buying like my after buying like my first copy that the original vinyls sort of like all like folded out and like everything. So like I was praying that like this was like a fold out one, and like it was. So then like when I went to like pay for it, like I asked about it having like a 7-inch single with it, because I remember reading somewhere that like the original copies came with that. So like the guy at like the record shop, which was X Records in like Bolton, like he went like to find like another copy of it, like just to see like if like they had like any like ones, and like they had about 10 copies of like this album here, and like one had the 7-inch single plus the postcards. So like I had to pay a little bit more than like £5 for it, but I'll just try and show this here. So there's the back there, and this all sort of folds out, which is really, really cool. I've never seen like anything like this with like a record before. I'll just get all of like the actual vinyl and like the single and like the other inserts and whatnot out, just to show you this artwork here. So that's what it's like on like the inside. Certainly much better than like the old copy, like what I had. And there's a cover there, just fantastic cover. But what you get inside here is you get these postcards here, which I believe there should have been 4 with this here, because there's 4 members like of the band. Unfortunately, like there's only 2 with this copy here. But the main thing though was this 7-inch single here, which is like live songs you get, Watching the Detectives. What are the other 2 again? I think it's Alison. Alison and Accidents Will Happen, live versions on the 7-inch, plus the album itself, which comes in like this inner sleeve. What I've actually done was like swapped over like the actual vinyls, because vinyl with like the new copy what I got wasn't quite as good as like my old one. So like I've swapped them like about. I'll like hopefully try and like sell like my old one, or like maybe give it away like as a VCLT or like something. But yeah, there's the inner sleeve, and the record looks like this here. So brilliant album, and I'm like very glad to have like a proper original copy of the album finally. Next album is this, which is the Stone Roses' second album, Second Coming. So yeah, like I played this one, like I wasn't as big a fan of this as like I was with like the first album, which is a masterpiece. This one wasn't quite as good, but it was still enjoyable. I liked the first song, Breaking Into Heaven. 10-Story Love Song was great as well, and like Love Spreads. Ironically, those were all of like the singles from the album. A little bit of fill-up, but like at the same time, a couple of like good solid album cuts. Just quickly show the packaging to this here. There's the gatefold there, little sort of young sort of baby pictures of like the band up there, which is quite nice. You get double album as well, this. And like this sounds pretty good. We are on Geffen Records with this one here. Just show that there, Second Coming. And this also came with like a download code. This is like a back to black vinyl like reissue of the album, so like it does come like with a download code as well. Whether I'll use it or not, like I'm not sure, because I have already got all of like the key songs from this album on like the Stone Roses Greatest Hits CD. But yeah, it was still enjoyable, this, so like the second coming. This album was one that I was a little bit late to. It is this one here. It's by Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, and the album is called Chasing Yesterday. So basically the story of this one was I was at work and like I heard like it was a song, The Ballad of the Mighty Eye, on like the Radio 2, and like I thought, that is a great song, that sounds like Noel Gallagher to me, and like afterwards like the DJ said that's Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds and The Ballad of the Mighty Eye. So I thought, right, I'm going to check out that album, because I heard a lot of people raving about this when like it came out. I think Vinyl Collector James, this came like somewhere close to like the top of like his list of like the albums of 2015, certainly within like the top 20, I think. So I thought I would finally get it, and I love this album. But yeah, like some people say that like this is like the best thing what Noel's done since like What's the Story, Morning Glory. Now I couldn't really like argue there, because I haven't like, heard like sort of like the stuff like in between. Like the only two like Oasis albums I know are like Definitely Maybe and like What's the Story, Morning Glory. But certainly like the other stuff, it doesn't get like quite as much like appreciation as those first two albums. But I thought this was still a cracking album. And Chasing Yesterday here. Bit of a random gatefold though, not too sure who this guy is. But yeah, there are some brilliant tracks on this, such as like the opening song, River Man. Like I remember when like that song like first came out, like I think it was like the first single from this album. Like I remember hearing that one. Same with In the Heat of the Moment. Other great ones, The Girl with the X-ray Eyes, The Dying of the Light, and like the closer would be my favourite, The Ballad of Mighty Eye. Fantastic song. So here we have the inner sleeve to the vinyl, looks like that, and then the label looks like this as well. Really cool label design with this one. So yeah, a fantastic album, and like to top it all off, they also provided a CD of the album, which I just think is brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this album to all like Oasis fans and like that. And Chasing Yesterday is a brilliant piece of work, this. Right, so now we are on to the last two. Now I have had these for quite a while now. I think I must have got these like only like a couple of days after like my last vinyl update. But they are really interesting, cool items. First one here is a Paul McCartney bootleg. This is called Cold Cuts. So I thought about getting this one like for like a little while. And like I decided that just to jump on it because some of these songs are just brilliant. We get like A Love for You, which has been reissued on like the RAM archive. All the favourites on here, such as like Water Spout, Cage, Did We Meet Somewhere Before, Best Friend is like really great as well. So this is like a bootleg on like the Club Sandwich label, what I believe came out in like the late 80s. All of these songs were like unreleased, not on any of his albums. Yeah, this is like a really cool item to get here, Cold Cuts. So our final one is like yet another Paul Weller album. Now like I'm almost complete on like his entire discography on vinyl. Like I still need 3 more like of his albums, Heliocentric, Illumination and Studio 150, because I have now got this one, which is As Is Now from 2005. This album came out, and I quite like this one here. For me, this sits like around like the middle of like his discography. For me, some great songs in here, like the first 4 are brilliant. Blink and You'll Miss It, Paper Smile, Come On Let's Go, and Here's the Good News. Other great ones on here, such as From Floorboards Up, The Pebble and the Boy, and I think All on a Misty Morning. Like I quite like that one as well. So yeah, some great songs on this album. That's what the gatefold looks like, and then this is a double album as well. I'll just quickly show them here. Seller provided these like other like inner sleeves as well. Although these might have like came like with like the original album, like I'm not too sure. Just a black vinyl though, but really nice, really nice pressing. Like as always with like Paul Weller albums. You also get the actual like inner sleeve here. This is like an inner sleeve here, just sort of like a thick card sleeve. Lyrics and notes on that side, and then you also get like a little photo print as well, which is really cool. In like the other pouch, you get the other vinyl, which slightly different label design. Looks like that there. and then a different like lyric insert as well. Just sort of looks like that there. So I'm very glad to get this album. Didn't pay all that much for this, but yeah, very glad to have it. Just like another great addition to like my Paul Weller collection, which is coming on great. I think like I've managed to get some of like his like fantastic albums like on vinyl. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this vinyl update video. Like as always, if like you would like me to review any of these albums, please do leave them like down below. And like I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.